Is there a move this offseason that we're not anticipating? And this is a tough question because since we're not anticipating it, it's hard to predict. Is there a move, though, that we're not anticipating this offseason that's going to that's going to make headlines, that's going to make people talk, do you see any dramatic, do you see any of the dramatic addition coaching wise, roster wise, draft wise, free agency wise? Well, the Niners, last year, Grant, they put all of their free agent dollars into Charvarius Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll do the same thing this year with Deron Payne? Or an edge rusher? What do you anticipate any truly dramatic offseason move coming from the Niners in any area?
I would expect them to make at least one significant signing like last year with Charvarius Ward. I'm not sure exactly what position it'll be. It may not be D-line. It might be center. It might be right tackle. But I hope it's not Mike. No, I'm sorry, Mike McGlinchey. I don't mean to bully Mike McGlinchey. But I hope it's not Mike. I hope they can either upgrade if that's the move. But if they want to splurge on an offensive tackle and spend $17 million a year, great. That sounds phenomenal. Yeah, that would be a good one. Or if they want to trade up high in the draft, they have a lot of late round picks. It seems like you got to do something. They can't just act like that it's a fluke that they lost the NFC Championship game and they just got to bring the team back, keep it together. No, you can't keep the team together and other teams improve. So find a way to get better. I don't know. What do you think if they sign one position in free agency, which one do you think they should make the biggest investment in?
I think it's got to be defensive tackle.
Okay.
I think it's defensive tackle. And Deron Payne is interesting because Washington also has a very expensive defensive line, and they're going to have to pick and choose which of their premier guys they want. And then once you've played on a killer line, I think you see the value and how much easier it is to play on a line that has other great players. And also I'm looking at, this line. I mean, Givens, McGill, Kalia Davis, they're all kind of movement tackles. And I just think they need somebody who's like an every down guy. We know how much belief they put into, having defensive line kind of be the lead of their defense. So, yeah, I mean, you got Bosa, you got Armstead. They both command double teams. The other side, is Ebukam coming back? Is Amenihu coming back? Is Willis coming back? And then what's the deal with Kinlaw? I say, if you sign Deron Payne, then you could probably get down the road from Kinlaw and nobody would be, everybody would know that you're upgrading.
Yeah.
And so maybe
Payne is what you wanted Kinlaw to be.
Right.
Payne is what
320.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick. He had 11 and a half sacks this last year. I'm thinking he's going to get Armstead money. He's 25. He's a first-round pick. Went to Alabama coming off an 11 and a half sack year. He's getting $17, $18 million a year. So if the Niners feel like they have that in their budget to pay him, Armstead, and Bosa all that money, great. Great. Otherwise, go D-end, go center, right? There are options. But you can't just do nothing.
No, especially up front. You can't fake it up front. And their lack of belief in Givens and McGill, showed by the fact that they kept putting Kinlaw in that spot, and his struggles there show that they need to upgrade. And the bottom line is they haven't made that many mistakes, but you could argue that drafting Javon where they did may have been one, and definitely letting go of DJ Jones now in hindsight looks like a mistake. Now,
right, and
DJ
they let go of DJ Jones because they thought they had Kinlaw. Right. So they
had Kinlaw, and that enabled them to say goodbye to Jones, and that ultimately wound up being a double negative because DJ was strong, maybe their strongest player at the point of attack. I think they
really
would have been.
Good.
They wouldn't have been where they ranked this year on short yardage runs between the tackles if they had DJ. I feel pretty confident.
And he's a lot cheaper than Deron Payne, so by sort of making that mistake, you got to pay a lot to fix it. But Deron Payne will be one hell of a solution. He's a great player.
Yeah. Hey, what do you got going the rest of the day on the channel? What are you doing now? How do you deal with the off season? Obviously you're going full bore through the season. Do you I know you're talking about going on a vacation, but do you have you dialed it back, or are you revving it up?
I think you want to dial it back at a certain point. At a certain point, you don't want to flood the market. So, but I think right now that the Super Bowl's coming up, Niner fans are fresh off this last game. Now's not the time to dial it back. Free agency's coming up, but there will be some dead periods, and I'll catch my breath. But I am going to Miami. That'll be fun. But
now, when
I'll
you go to
travel
Miami,
vlogs.
you're sitting there on the beach, and you're out on in a club with your wife, and you guys are having some cocktails. All of a sudden, you look down at your phone and you see some move. You start diddling the phone. Does she look at you and go, Grant? Or does she just know? You know what? You're on all the time.
She knows the deal. I'm on all the time, and I do the best I can to shut it off. But if the Niners trade Trey Lance when we get to Miami, what am I going to do? Be like, hey, let's just pretend like that didn't happen. And I'll get to this news in 3 days. Like, nah, I got to do it. But a lot of times, I can make the movie and the article, have it up, be done in 45 minutes or faster. I'm experienced, so I can juggle. So far, I haven't gotten divorced yet. It's been doing pretty good. Let's see how we do.
There you go.